Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comic Wall. It's me, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 181 of The Walking Dead. Now, first off, we have get in focus. We have an amazing throwback cover here, in homage. I keep meaning to say that in homage to issue 91, I believe, and that is the actual first full appearance of Jesus. And so we see the actual cover here with Michonne in Princess in Michonne's original pose and Mercer in Abraham's original pose. And so I think that's pretty cool. A pretty cool throwback, especially for the 15th anniversary of The Walking Dead. And not only that, for the 15th anniversary, we get this amazing tribute portrait of Glenn by Bill Seinkiewicz, and I'm loving this cover. Not only that, I mean, look at the very morbid looking skull slash smiley face on his head, and not only that, it looks a lot like it's been smashed, kind of like, well, I'm not gonna get into that because it's still a fresh wound. Anyway, so yeah, getting right into it. First off, I wanted to show y'all how I put up my comics onto my wall. Now, this is my copy that I don't touch, that I don't use for reading. And so, focus. There we go. And so, yeah, I might as well show you guys how it goes up. So, I have this nice little space right here. And since this is going up right next to issue 180, I just put it up as close as I can next to it, and then I have a little bit of the board sticking out from behind the bagging board. And what I do, I take a little thumbtack and I just push it right through the board, into the wall. There we go, and it looks great, and it matches a little too much to my wall. So I like that. I'm excited for whenever I get issue 91. That'll be a cool addition wherever it goes. But yeah, so getting right into it, we meet back with Rick and the governor after their little tense discussion about a new world order. And I had two predictions. I either thought that things were going to be really tense between them at that point, or in the next issue they would just put it behind them and just sometimes the cliffhangers can be a little misleading, especially lately. But here we see that Rick is actually showing the governor the Oceanside community, or at least leading her up to the Oceanside community. And so she's obviously blown back, and for good reason. We see this beautiful spread of, the Bayside, really. And I'm not sure if this is the actual Oceanside community, but I know for sure that, I don't know, because we never exactly saw the community themselves. We only got a glimpse of them in this one, actually, issue, what is it, 139. And we saw it very briefly. We actually just saw this Bayside. If not, we're seeing it farther now. But I'm digging it. I love it. It's such a beautiful scene. And and what's funny is that the governor's assistant is being a little bit of a stickler. He even admits it by saying that it's more of an inlet, really. But he's like, okay, shutting up. But we leave them for a minute, and then we jump back to Michonne and her daughter Elodie. And turns out that Michonne talked to Lance, and she's taking the job that they offered her as the lawyer of the Commonwealth. And so, with that being said, Elodie is excited. She's just ecstatic about it. And Elodie even says, like, wait, so you might have time for a trip? What trip exactly? I'm a little confused by this, because could it mean that maybe they go back to Alexandria, or do they go to another community that maybe the Commonwealth is part of? Because I'm a little confused by what she means by that. So, I mean, hopefully we see that within the next issue or the next couple of issues. After that, we drop by the hillside. We drop by the hilltop, and Carl is checking in on a newcomer. One of the newcomers that Jesus and Aaron had brought in from the Whisperers, because they had kind of tried to get in with the Whisperers, but they obviously didn't fit in, but they had to do something to survive. So we find out this kid's name is Joshua, or Josh, and Carl's kind of sizing him up a little, but at the same time he's being really understanding, sympathetic, and I can see a lot of, like, I can see how Carl has really matured, especially in these last few issues, since the beginning of the Whisperer War, because I mean, obviously a lot of shit went down, and he's really shaped up into it. And still at the hilltop, we meet up with Maggie, Aaron, and Jesus, and they're pretty much just vouching for these people. They're saying that they obviously didn't belong there, and they obviously weren't really that crazy either. And so Maggie takes their word for it. She trusts them. She knows that they're good at this kind of stuff. She takes their word for it. They mention how Rick is asking for Carl to come back for a little bit. I'm not sure if he will exactly, because I know he's been a hard worker, especially with having to rebuild the hilltop and everything. He's been a hard worker trying to get everything done. Prove his worth to the community. And so at one point she asked, "Are you sure that Beta is dead?" And they're like, "Yep, pretty dead." Kind of went out with, Jesus says he kind of went out with a whimper. So this is brutal. Anyway, we jump back to the group from Alexandria and the Commonwealth, and Princess is chatting off Rick's ear. She's really excited to be meeting him and to be a part of this whole thing. Just the fact that she hasn't been with people a lot or at all within God knows how long. I'm sure her social skills are kind of off, when we see that a lot in this, significantly in this issue. At one point, Dwight calls out that there's trouble ahead, and he calls Rick up to the front of their group, and turns out we see a herd of walkers in the clearing ahead, and it's not the biggest herd they've had to deal with, but it's still a threat, and especially with the fact that they're actually going to the Oceanside community. Now, here's the deal. I've never actually heard anyone in the comics mention or call the community by name, and nonetheless the name Oceanside. I always thought that was from the TV show, but they actually say it here, and so I don't know if it's just that they finally decide to throw in the name, or if they just felt it was necessary. But nonetheless, it's good to have a name for them, especially. And so Dwight and Rick kind of force out a plan that Dwight and a few of the soldiers that came to guard the governor could lead this herd away. Rick asks Mercer if he would be able to accompany Dwight. At first he's a little hesitant because, like, I'm supposed to be guarding the governor, but Rick is insistent, saying that we'll be driving them away from Oceanside and her. Not helping will endanger her, so let's go. And so he gets going, and Princess actually tags along too. Now, there's this little cute bit that I really appreciated between them. Princess is a little nervous about going head on into a herd of walkers, but Mercer reassures her, and she appreciaes this, but I can kind of tell that she likes him a little bit, or she's kind of a little stricken with him, because she's like, okay, cool, you're cool, shut up, Princess, shut up. And so I like that, because it shows an actual personality versus front that everyone else has kind of put on. I mean, Negan never really had much of a front other than, trying to be a total hard ass, but I mean, that's Negan anyway. So, the group joins up and they're working on distracting the herd and leading them away, one from Oceanside and two from their location, so that way they don't, overrun them. And so it starts working, but the governor ends up having her little caravan move in for a closer look, and that's bad because it actually distracts the walkers from the back. Princess notices this, and even Mercer's like, we told her to hang back. What the fuck is she doing? And so, with that being done, Princess gets knocked off her horse here, and I got worried here because I thought that was it for her, and it seemed like such a bad way for her to go out. But Mercer actually jumps off her horse, or his horse, excuse me, and helps her up, and they work at clearing the zombies. Further off, we see Dwight with one of the Commonwealth soldiers, and this crazy dude just walks straight into the wall of walkers, and Dwight's like, it's too late, there's too many. And this guy's just like, that's what the armor is for. Like, that takes balls. Like, I mean, I know the Alexandria group is more conditioned to deal with walkers, but these guys just seem way too comfortable having to deal with them, especially with these suits. And so I'm wondering if that maybe will be an issue at one point. Anyway, when things start looking way too hairy, Alexandria's army actually rushes in and takes out the rest of the walkers, and they do pretty good, just popping off headshots. And this really impresses the governor because, I mean, she even says this is impressive. And after all the walkers are taken down, Princess and Mercer and the one soldier who walked into the herd, we finally see them clearing out, and they made it. They survived. But very interesting thing here, Princess pulls Mercer in for a kiss, and Mercer doesn't. Well, of course, he seems shocked by it, but Princess just apologizes. She's like, "Oh, sorry. It seemed like we were having a moment," and I think this is cute. I ship it. I love it, and so. I'm kind of hoping something forms between them. I mean, if we don't get enough from the actual cover itself, I hope something comes out of it. Anyway, Rick goes up to Dwight, and he's giving everyone a good job, whatever. But Rick is kind of being a hard ass on him and saying like, if we had our lookouts who are in the army. Looking out for this, we wouldn't have had this incident. And this Dwight's doing his best to make up to Rick, and especially because he questioned him and his authority, so he's not in the best mood with Dwight, so it's pretty hard to be earning his trust back. Anyway, the governor comes out of her caravan, and she's impressed, she's excited, but at the same time, Mercer is, he kind of goes in to scold her, but then the governor kind of just sideswipes it, saying, "I'm sorry if I caused you alarm at any moment, Mercer, but I knew what you were capable of, and now they know as well." And of course, we're left with a cliffhanger with Mercer kind of looking back at the governor a little annoyed, well, obviously very annoyed. And so that's the end of this issue, and I'm excited to see where we go from here, especially after that little incident. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, drop a like, show the love, hit that subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications of when I post new videos, so that way you guys stay updated and don't miss out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!